We've left our mark.
We have done it.
That'll have to do. That'll have to do. So I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
You know what else would be great?
What's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixel It. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, is Phil. And today on the show, we are finishing Resident Evil City of the Dead, the third in the Resident Evil book series, but it's the second game. It's about Resident Evil 2. And the book comes to a roaring conclusion. It's
sure does.
Sure does. But before we get started today, as of the recording today, which will be coming out in a couple weeks,
yeah,
Jesus Christ, I just wanted to talk about the dumbest thing I've seen today.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're doing this. I'm in.
And this is John Carmack tweeting that he is going to be the keynote speaker at a convention called BasedCon. Now,
that sounds good and not at all conspicuous.
Sounds good and not at all conspicuous.
No.
What is BasedCon?
I'm curious. Please.
Well, BasedCon is a gathering for authors and fans of science fiction and fantasy. Hey, Phil, you and I are fans of science fiction and fantasy.
We're also authors. Wow. This sounds like it could be for us, Kevin.
It could be for us.
Great.
Whether you've been to a con before or a frequent con goer, we go to conventions.
We go to cons, yeah. Maybe not as much as the next guy, but
who is tired of woke propaganda?
Oh no.
Oh no, Johnny boy. Oh, John, is this your milkshake duck moment in the sun?
But I mean, come on, Carmack. I think after
he's been shitty
Masters
for a while. It's just like he hasn't been so explicitly shitty that it's just like little hints here and there, and then he does something like, "I'm going to be the keynote speaker at BasedCon," where some of the beliefs at BasedCon include men cannot give birth, guns don't kill people, people kill people, a fetus is a human being, socialism has failed everywhere it's been tried, and discriminating against white people is racism.
Wait, did he say this?
No, he didn't, but that's the beliefs of BasedCon.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Awesome. This is good.
So, just to answer those questions, men cannot give birth. Yes, they can. Trans men are men. Trans women are women. And trans people are people. And non-binary people are valid. So, fuck you. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. I mean, Phil and I are not the biggest anti-gun people you're going to find. But, that's usually a rallying cry of shitty people.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not anti-gun, but that is a big old dog whistle. That is,
that's a dog whistle and a half.
Oh yeah, you and I are not friends.
Yeah, a fetus is a human being. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's a fetus. Socialism has failed everywhere it's been tried. Has it though?
It has not.
What's capitalism doing right now? How's capitalism doing? And discriminating against white people is racism. No, that is technically not possible. Because racism is discrimination plus power. And you can't be racist against the people in power.
It's the ultimate punching up, punching down.
Punching up versus situation. Punching down. So, BasedCon, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, no friend of ours.
There goes our invite to BasedCon.
Heaven, we're never going to make the con circuit like this.
We're never going to make the con circuit now.
No.
Yeah, these speakers, these guests, John Carmack, get fucked, John.
Is it just it's just, I mean, this might be actually very valuable for just people to go ahead and block.
Just block. Go to the speakers and just go, and that's what you'd expect. It's a bunch of white people with terrible haircuts. So
you had to make that comment the day I hid my hair under a ball cap.
Is there a reason why you're hiding your hair, Phil?
It just doesn't. I look a mess.
It's not.
I had a half day today, and believe me when I say I took full advantage of it. So.
Oh boy. So anyway, that was the dumb thing of the day. I don't think that's going to be a recurring segment, but I figured it needed to be done today because it was, top of mind.
I think that was good enough for a whole month, if you ask me. I mean,
That was good. That was a dumb thing for the month.
But you know what isn't dumb?
Resident Evil and S.D. Perry. She's
That's
amazing.
right. That's right.
She wouldn't be caught dead at Based Con. Let's talk about Resident Evil, City of the Dead.
Yes.
Go to where we left off.
When I tell you to dump a body in the marsh, you dump them in the marsh.
We left off with Chapter 21. Chapter 21, and we are back with Ada. And Ada is almost as much or more of a character in some respects than Claire and Leon. I feel like she has more development than Claire does.
She's really tearing herself up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. She develops. She grows.
She develops as a character the most out of anybody. Because by the end, Leon is still, a pretty boy cop who is just a little bit more cynical. And Claire is still looking for her brother.
Yeah, Claire changes not at all. Claire's pretty much the same from beginning to end. Leon changes a little. Ada Wong changes a ton.
A ton. So, chapter 21. Ada thinks that Leon is being defensive since she blew off his attempts to comfort her. But they're making good time through the sewers, and there's not many enemies down there. Until they come around a corner, and there's some gunfire, and Leon gets shot when he saves Ada's life by protecting her from the bullet.
Oh, the classic throw yourself in front of the bullet trope. Good for you, Leon.
And
classic.
Leon is down on the ground, and Ada knows that the wound isn't fatal, decides to run after Annette and put an end to all this. So she's running through the rooms, and she's trying to catch up on Annette when Annette gets the drop on her. And Annette knows who Ada is she's like, oh, wait a minute. I know who you are. You were the one who was dating John. And you're like, John's dead. He died at the Spencer estate. So she has her theories about Ada. And she's like, I'm pretty sure you're here to steal the G virus. And Ada's like, no, I'm not.
Why? What?
What?
No.
Annette also fills in some of the gaps. The T virus is what leaked out into the city via the rats, and William injected himself with the G virus to survive, but he mutated. They get into a struggle over the gun. Ada tosses Annette over the railing, and she falls down into this little pit area. As Ada runs around to try to find her way down to where Annette is, she gets attacked by a reptilian thing. We cut over to Claire. Claire is desperately trying to find Sherry, and while doing so, finds Leon, shot and on the ground. Leon tells Claire about Ada, and Claire decides to go looking for both Ada and Sherry. Now we cut to Annette. Annette is in a ton of pain, and in the background she can hear gunshots, which is probably Ada fighting the reptile thing.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Whatever that's going on. And
Sure,
Annette
no
lowers the bridge. And then a girl in cutoffs finds her, which is Claire.
Yeah. I do love that, like that dramatic irony. Some girl in cutoffs, huh?
Girl in cutoffs is here. What's going on? And Annette's like, she's from Umbrella too.
Yeah. You're all from Umbrella. Yes, Mr. Sherman. Everything stinks.
And then Claire's like, no, I'm looking for a girl named Sherry. Wait, Sherry, you're Annette Burke, and Sherry, what? Your daughter? And Annette's like, no, you can know Sherry. Sherry's in the safety of the police station.
Yeah, I took care of all that. I'm a genius. Everything's fine.
I'm a genius. I have several degrees, and I am the smartest person here. And Sherry's and Claire's like, nope, everybody's dead in the police station. And it's like, no,
No.
no way, that's impossible. And
She's a
Annette,
good mom. She's a good mom.
Annette stumbles away.
Just blind leading the blind here.
We cut back to Leon. We're in chapter 22. Leon wakes up and the bleeding from his arm has stopped and clotted. His arm hurts a lot, and he's very mad at Ada for running off after the shooter and mad at himself for not going with Claire.
Lover's quarrel.
Yeah, it's a lover's quarrel. You know, they've known each other for a few hours now. Keep in mind, this has all just happened over the course of a few hours.
Yeah. I do. When you think about it, when you play Resident Evil 2, it is, I mean, it's not a terribly long game, and for everything you do, it might as well be in real time, based on the time you get out. It's just a one shitty night, basically.
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's the same thing with, like Resident Evil 4, the remake just came out, and one of the things they do is there's like a few times where time clearly passes because Leon passes out or whatever, and it goes from daytime to nighttime. So yeah, but yeah, typically Resident Evil games and the story are pretty concise in the amount of time that passes. Leon uses the gunshots that he's hearing to track down where Ada is, and he finds her fighting a gigantic crocodile. She's not doing much damage to it. And nope. Leon shoots the croc with the shotgun, and the croc just takes the bullets. It's just it's just like, fine. What else you got?
Yeah.
Leon, he does what one of your favorite movies of all time does.
He pulls a Jaws, doesn't he? Yeah.
He sure as shit pulls a Jaws.
He pulls a Jaws. I love him.
Love him.
Smile, you son of a bitch!
And he kicks the canister towards the shark, the croc into its mouth. And
think about a croc's eyes, got lifeless eyes like a doll's eyes.
Like a doll's eyes. Till it bites you. His eyes roll over white.
Y'all know me. Know what I do? Bad gator.
Sharks in water. Our shark. Our gator.
Our gator. Well, and that's gonna be one of our Patreon rewards. We'll just live stream ourselves watching Jaws.
That would be perfect. Yeah,
that would be great.
What's the song that he sings?
Spanish Ladies.
Spanish Ladies. That's right.
Farewell and adieu to your fair Spanish
ladies. Oh, God. We delivered the bomb. Anyway, Leon.
I love that habit we have. But just one more. And now we're moving on. Yeah, just one more reference.
So Leon shoots the canister, blows the croc head clean off. And in Leon as the one-liner Leon is like a flower starting to bloom. Because he's in full form in Resident Evil 4, but he really hasn't done anything in Resident Evil 2. And now he kills the croc and he says, "Gotcha, you dumb shit." Which, listen, 10 out of 10 confidence.
Yeah. An effort was made. An effort
was made. 4 out of 10 in cleverness.
It's no good night.
It's no where's everyone going? Bingo.
It's like watching a baby learn to crawl. It's a slow process, this Leon. Oh, Leon.
So we're back with Ada in chapter 23, and Ada is dressing Leon's wounds and lies to him about how she had met Annette. And she feels kind of guilty about lying again. And she has
she's got emotions and feelings.
She has an entire inner monologue about how she's falling for him and how she wants to run away with him and have white picket fence and kids with this kid.
She might as well sing like "Somewhere That's Green" from Little Shop of Horrors. Like,
suddenly Leon is standing beside me.
Oh, that could actually work. Yeah, you got a T virus man-eating plant. Like, come on.
Yeah, actually, that blew my mind when in Little Shop of Horrors, when what's her name, the girl who plays Audrey,
Yeah.
when she goes from her like speaking voice, which is the high like, yes, doctor, sorry, doctor, and then when she belts out suddenly Seymour, you're like, whoa, and you're like flipping back over your chair because it has so much. Yeah. It has so much like depth and bass to it.
Yeah. No, she Ellen Green. Ellen Green. She yeah, she's one of those kind of like darlings of the off-Broadway scene. She's badass. She's totally badass. Yeah.
God. She's amazing in Little Shop of Horrors. Go watch Little Shop of Horrors, by the way.
You haven't? So good.
It's one of the formative movies of my life, and I've seen it too many times to count.
So good.
But yes, she's Ada singing Somewhere That's Green in her head.
So good.
We finally get back to Sherry after falling down a poop pipe filled with poop water.
Yeah.
And
oh boy, this kid's gonna have a serious just infections like nobody's business.
Down in his sewer, not having a good time.
Yeah.
And she at one point says, has a thought like, it must have gone in my mouth. And I'm like,
right. Oh. It did. It did.
It did, kid. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it did, kid. I'm sorry.
She climbs a really tall ladder and gets to a grate, but it won't budge. And she just basically is just hanging onto the ladder like, well, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah.
She actually says shit, which I love for her character. I just love this 12-year-old kid just hanging, just like after all she's been there.
Oh, yeah. Just well, you know what? It's like, give it to her. Yeah, of course she'd say that,
No, we're not even putting that in the swear jar, kid.
No, you know what?
You get
a freebie. Yeah, enjoy that. It's not happening again, but just this once.
Then she hears someone walking around and calls for help, and it's Claire. Claire is up there, and she pulls the grate open. And Claire talks to her about her mom and how she ran off, and also about the G virus. And Sherry's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sweet.
We cut over to Annette, and Annette is looking for the tram and is talking to herself about how everyone's lying to her. And she's making her way to the lab, and she hears Williams shriek and is satisfied that he must be back in the blast radius of the lab.
Yes. Yeah, like, right? Fingers crossed, right?
Right? Like, Chapter 24, we're back with Leon, and Leon is sitting in some sort of control room and has been bandaged up by Ada, who has left to look for something. So he sees Ada running off to a transport, and he runs and catches up with her before she's able to launch it, and she's like, I'm sorry. I was leaving without you. And he's like, She explains that she thought he was too wounded to take him with her, and if it was a dead end or something, that she would feel bad. Leon believes that she actually does feel guilty, but not sure if he buys the rest of it.
Yeah, which, I mean, honestly, that did good intuition. Because that's
good intuition. And then something attacks the tram. It knocks Ada out by punching 2 wounds into her hip. And then he dresses her wound quickly by ripping off parts of her dress.
Very convenient choice, by the way.
Very convenient choice. And then he grabs his shotgun.
Yeah. But before if there's anything that soaks up blood handily, it's silk. It's
silk is so really
absorbent.
Yeah. You know what else is good is Remington shotgun is very good at soaking up blood.
Yes.
Or relocating blood.
In a manner of speaking. Yeah. moving it to different places. All over.
All over, depending on what you're looking to do. Ask your doctor.
Yeah. To ask your doctor if Remington is right for you.
Jesus Christ.
That's how it starts.
Claire and Sherry arrive at the tram station, and Claire orders the tram to come pick them up. And Claire's like, "Hey, Sherry, what's in the locket?" And Sherry's like, "I don't know. It doesn't open." Claire's like, "Interesting."
I'll just leave that unexamined.
Not going to go I'm not going to put it into the Resident Evil 3D spinny image thing and find a switch on it.
Nah. Probably fine. It's probably fine.
But hey, somebody hears the music because X's going to give it to you.
Oh yeah. That was everywhere when this remake came out.
And I never got tired of seeing
I didn't
videos.
either. That's the thing. You would think after 2 or 3 times, you'd be like, all right, guys, we get the joke. No, never. Not for that one. I don't know why. I was just immune to it.
Pour one out for DMX. Gone too soon, to be honest.
Gone too soon. The
Gone
king.
too soon.
Fuck Elvis. It's all about
Fuck
DMX.
Elvis. It's DMX. So Mr. X arrives. Claire wastes a ton of ammo slowing him down, and they're able to get on the tram and hit the button, leaving him on the platform. Meanwhile, Annette is in the lab and puts in a code to open all the doors, releasing whatever monsters may be lurking, and also releasing the P-epsilon gas, which would knock out any T-virus carriers.
Ah. Okay.
Also, Annette is juiced up on speed and painkillers at this point.
Yeah.
Literally speed and painkillers and adrenaline.
She's basically on her way to doing her own version of the third act in Scarface. Like she's done. There's no coming down from this.
She's just taking epinephrine and methamphetamine and injecting it right into her heart.
Right there.
And she's like, well, it might kill me, but so will everything else. So let's
exactly.
Let's keep moving.
You gotta admit, this has got to be a better way to go. Let's do this instead.
Oh boy. And then Annette sets a timer for the lab to detonate in 20 minutes. That should be enough time. Chapter 25.
That should be fine.
That should be fine. Leon sees William for the first time, and there's a lot of great description in this scene of what he looks like. Actually, give me a moment. I'm gonna pull up my my book here because I had it in the notes. All right, where is that? Here we go. I found it. Relatively quick. Its right arm was 6 inches longer than the left. The stained bone claws jutting from the pulsing hand, and the bulbous moving tumor in its right bicep looked like nothing so much as an eyeball the size of a dinner plate, jerking wetly from side to side as if searching. And the scream was changing too, getting deeper, rougher, the shaggy face falling forward and melting into its chest like hot wax, like a movie effect. The creature's head flowed into its upper body, disappearing smoothly into its inflamed and greedy skin.
That's some good body horror right there.
That's some good body horror.
Yeah.
You know what I love? And you other fans out there of the thing are going to love it too. From this point on, in the book, she labels it Birkin thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
pretty pointed.
That's a pretty pointed reference.
Yeah. She knew what was going on. She understood the assignment.
But yeah, she's like it's a very much a callback to the thing. Which in the way she describes it really evoked, even more so than the game, evoked images of some of the stuff from John Carpenter's The Thing in my mind. Especially during the blood test scene. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So Leon keeps shooting it in the chest as it keeps coming from him, but then suddenly it turns and leaves, jumping over the railing, and he has no idea why it left, but he's grateful. He goes to check on Ada. Meanwhile, Sherry hears the monster from a distance and is too scared to go forward, and Claire gives her her vest to make her feel braver. Meanwhile, again, Ada wakes up and realizes she may be infected. She asks Leon where they are, and he mentions it's an underground lab. She considers dropping her mission and running off. This is where somewhere that screen happens. But she knows that she can't. Leon leaves her to go explore the lab, and Ada just waits a minute for Leon to clear out, and then just pops right up to her feet because she realizes that she can move around better than Leon knows.
Yes.
Things are moving fast now. Chapter 26. We're with Annette. Annette tries to go through the elevator to get out, but it's sealed behind a door that needs a special disc to open. And on her way back, she's attacked by a licker that cuts her arm open, and then she's like, "I need to make everybody pay." She has a real Skeletor moment.
Want everyone to be sad.
I'm gonna make everybody sad after this licker cuts her arm and she kills it. We cut over to Leon, and Leon hears the shots from Annette, and he's in some sort of surgery lab and is looking through documents for anything useful. And he finds a disc that reads "for cargo room verification," and he takes it. He walks back out into the hallway and finds Annette pointing a gun at him. This is basically the scene from The Happening, where Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch go into that old lady's house.
Oh yeah.
And,
No,
ma'am, we're not.
one of the greatest line deliveries in modern
You're here to
film
kill
history.
me. No, ma'am, we're not. So Marky Mark is Leon in this case, or Leon is Marky Mark.
Yeah. We're all a little Marky Mark.
We're all, yeah. Stay prayed up, everybody.
Except for the hate crimes. But other than that,
except for the hate crimes.
I feel like other than that, we've all got a little
Did
Marky
you see
Mark
that
inside
video
us.
of him where he's like, it's National Prayer Day, and it starts with him at the kneeler for the crucifix, and he kisses the cross on two sides, and he's like, "Happy National Prayer Day, stay prayed up."
I have not, but I have absolutely zero reason to think that didn't go down moment for moment exactly as you described it. Because that's who we're talking about here.
We're talking about Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
You know?
If you had said to me before we even got on this topic, if you had said to me, "You know who I'm talking about, the prayed up guy, the stay prayed up guy," I'd go, "Are you talking about Mark Wahlberg?" It would just pop out.
Just assume that it's Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg? That's yeah.
Hashtag stay prayed up, you know?
I know you're watching me, big guy.
Not a fucking co-op. Another connection to The Departed, you know? World
Like we
needs plenty
needed
of
more.
bartenders. Oh, God. Where the fuck were we? Oh, yeah. So Annette is... Leon does the "no, ma'am, we're not." Annette tells Leon the truth behind Ada's mission. And then there's a rumble, and a pipe falls down and conveniently knocks the fuck out of Annette. And the self-destruction notification begins blaring.
Yeah.
Chapter 27. Claire and Sherry got off an elevator and onto a platform. They're going to have to crawl through a vent, and then suddenly Mr. X arrives, and they run. We cut to Ada. Ada overhears Annette ranting from around the corner, and then the self-destruct sequence comes on. Ada reaffirms to herself that she needs to complete her mission, and she hides as Leon runs past and then runs where he was coming from. Leon, meanwhile, finds that Ada is gone and goes back into the labs to look for her. Meanwhile, Sherry and Claire are coming out of the crawl space, and Sherry drops out. Claire gives her gun, and then Claire has to do like a forward somersault out of the crawl space and only hurts herself a little bit. and they get to running.
Yeah. It's
when
that part in the game, guys. I know you all knew it was coming. Yeah.
When we're getting to Dan Brown chapters. We're hitting Dan Brown peak right now. Chapter 28, Annette wakes up and crawls out from under the pipes, and she is pissed. Meanwhile, she's pissed because Ada took the vial of G virus that she was holding, I believe. Meanwhile, Ada is moping, and she believes she doesn't deserve Leon. Oh, Leon took the vial of G virus. Ada believes that she doesn't deserve Leon anyway, and Leon and Ada run into each other out on the catwalk. Ada demands the G virus from him, and Ada finally has a moment of emotion and begins to cry and reveals who she is and all that stuff. And Ada's like, I'm not going to shoot you. And then Leon's relieved, and then Ada gets shot from behind and falls over the railing and grabs Leon's wrist. Annette was the shooter, but it was the last thing she could do before passing out. You're going to come down hard from that speed. That's not a gradual process. It's, you're just gonna.
It's like stepping on a rake.
And she's already probably has a concussion. And broken ribs, so she's down for the count, and don't expect her to get back up for the rest of the book.
I'm just not seeing it happening. No,
not seeing it happen. Meanwhile, Claire and Sherry are running through a machine room. They enter a room with molten metal below, and Claire gets the idea to try to bait Mr. X into jumping. And then Claire realizes that Mr. X is there for Sherry's locket. Oh, wait a minute. There's G-Virus in the locket. Sherry throws the locket to Claire, and Claire tosses it into the molten lava below. And Mr. X decides to follow it like the big dummy that he is.
Oh, Mr. X.
Mr. X.
When do you learn?
Never and that's a picture wrap on Mr. X? Question mark?
Yeah. He doesn't now... I feel like it was a missed opportunity that for all of her skills at adaptation, I think I was surprised that S.D. Perry didn't choose that moment to write about how he had the thumbs up on the way down as he sank into the molten metal. I feel like that was maybe it just wasn't going with her vision. Of the book,
you got to show that moment of understanding. Where he's just like, oh, it's a good game. Good game, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. I get it now. I feel fulfilled. But choices.
Choices. I would have made that choice as well.
Yeah.
Ada gives Leon instructions on how to get out of the labs, realizing that at this point she would only slow him down, and she tells Leon to go and live. And then she lets go and falls into the abyss. Poor Leon.
Poor Leon.
Poor Leon.
Just when he thought he was going to get a smooch.
Just when he thought he was going to get his smooch from his Asian girlfriend. He gets nothing.
Not so much as a dry rubber above the pants. Just Leon, he's having a hard first day of work. I'm just saying.
He's having a hard first day. Yeah, a very hard first day, if you know what I mean.
I think we both know.
Ayo. Hard meaning difficult.
This is...
Sherry and Claire are running through the machine area and get into an elevator and take it down. Meanwhile, Leon is super sad, and he takes Ada's Beretta and notices that it was empty and that she was not even able to shoot him. She was bluffing. She didn't want to hurt him. Leon, in a fit of showmanship, disposes of the G-Virus tube by throwing it off the balcony catwalk thing. Leon and Claire get off the elevator and find the train. It's powered off, but they're there. And while Leon is waiting for the cargo elevator to arrive, Birkin arrives. Wah, wah.
Thought we were done with Birkin.
Thought we were done with him. Claire has the subway powered up, but it's ready to go. But the gate is stuck and needs to be opened manually. Meanwhile, Leon begins shooting Birkin in the eye and is able to fight him off in time for the elevator to arrive. Meanwhile, Claire works to open the gate. It's like it cuts back and forth between them so furiously in these last moments.
It
Claire
really
works
does.
to-
It is
Yeah.
fast and furious.
It's fast and furious. Claire works to open the gate, but who other but Mr. X, but very toasty Mr. X, arrives. Leon ducks, dodges, and dives toward the elevator and shoots the monster in the chest with his shotgun, knocking it back so the elevator can get clear. Chapter 30. Sherry is on the train, but hearing the gunfight outside, Claire tells her to stay inside. Leon, meanwhile, is on a slow elevator ride. Claire is fighting Mr. X and out of ammo. The timer has reached 0 on reaching minimum safe distance, and there are 5 more minutes left until the thing explodes.
I thought that was a that was a bait and switch.
Yes.
It's like you have minimum safe distance. Okay, now it's the timer for it blowing up.
Yes.
I know that they said it. I know they literally spelled it out, but I was still ready for it. Was truly me going, how are they gonna fucking do this? Like
They got 5 seconds left.
My reading comprehension might not be the strongest.
So Claire is fighting Mr. X, and she's wondering why it's attacking her if the G virus is gone. Meanwhile, Leon takes the left hallway. Meanwhile, Claire is still fighting Mr. X and runs up the stairs. She shoots him in the eye and causes him to miss, but his attack cracks the base of the stairs and she goes tumbling. Chapter 31. Leon turned the wrong way and has to run back.
I love this detail so much. It literally just him getting to a dead end going, son of a bitch. Meanwhile, just
He gets to the one hallway. He's like, all right, left or right? Well, most people go with their dominant hand, so I'm just going to go with the opposite. And he goes left.
Yeah.
And then the next chapter, he's like, fuck.
Yes. Stupid. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, Claire is doing all sorts of acrobatics with limited ammo, fighting Mr. X and trying to live. She also gets a long cut on her leg from Mr. X. She's sure she's going to die when a woman drops a machine gun from the shadows to her. Wonder who that could be. What? Claire grabs it and fires, and the stream of bullets tears Mr. X in two. And now it's picture wrap on Mr. X.
Yes. Good. Fine.
Leon is running faster, sprinting toward the sound of heavy machinery. Chapter 32. Claire gets back into the train and gets it moving. Sherry sees Leon from the back of the tram. Leon jumps onto the tram and gets in and tells Claire to go full throttle. The bomb detonates and Claire introduces Sherry to Leon. And then they hear something coming from the back of the train. Leon, noticing that Claire's leg, what are you going to say?
I gasped in anticipation.
Oh, yes. Leon, noticing that Claire's leg is, as put in the text, ripped to shit.
It's very medical terminology there, but I think we all understood.
My official medical diagnosis is your leg has been ripped to shit.
I recommend this prescription of Remington.
Remington.
Aha!
Good enough for horses.
Well played, sir.
Oh, poor horses.
For many reasons.
For many reasons. Claire puts together that Mr. X must have been down there following them if there was a G-virus creature on board. Leon goes into the back of the train and finds the Birkin thing has mutated into just being a wet cave with teeth. Leon shoots it with the shotgun several times to no effect, and then he shoots it right in the eye with the Magnum and kills it. And it basically just melts down in front of him. And then Leon goes back and rejoins Claire and Sherry as the train exits into the sunlight. The end. Epilogue.
Ba-ba-bum.
Bum. Rebecca and her crew from the previous book find them walking down the road and pick them up.
That's it.
That's the end.
That's the actual end this time.
That's the actual end.
Yeah.
So that's the end of Resident Evil City of the Dead. What do you think?
I loved it. I think not only does this work on its own as just a novel to read, like if you'd never played Resident Evil 2, but it's so evocative of Resident Evil 2 without being really, uh, chained up to the original source material. Like we've talked about before, she knows when to streamline things, when to leave certain things out, and keep it clipping along while still evoking the game that it was based on. When she's talking about the creature roaring and stuff, I suddenly in my head had the N64 Mr. X roar thing, that compressed, grainy as shit audio bite just played in my head, and I haven't thought of that in years, but I knew exactly what she was talking about. And it just, so it's wonderful for people who've never played through Resident Evil 2, and I think it's also a really nice compliment to people, to the game itself. So
Right.
easily the best in the series so far.
Yeah. No, I loved it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great book. And I think it does a really good job of cutting it cut literally all of the puzzles out and refined the storytelling to a point where it's just focusing on the character growth and good descriptions of the action sequences and the monsters and all that stuff. Here's the wild thing: is I love puzzles in my Resident Evil games.
It's one of my favorite things.
It's one of my favorite
Resident
parts.
Evil.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing about puzzles: is they are fucking boring to read about.
Yes. Yeah. They're boring to watch other people do. They're boring to read about. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
I mean, sure, Dan Brown made an entire career about it, but I don't recommend that for literally anybody else.
No.
It's different from a mystery. A mystery is one thing, but like sitting there, somebody trying to solve a national treasure puzzle via text is I'll leave it.
And it'd be one thing if this was an adaptation of a straight up puzzle game, but Resident Evil has so much blending of genres in it that losing the better part of the puzzles doesn't automatically stop it from being an effective adaptation of the franchise.
Right. How would you adapt Tetris?
Oh man, I'd have to. You know what? My first instinct is to get really postmodern existential on it and like write it from the point of view of one of the block shapes. I don't know, maybe the T.
Yeah.
And give it an existential crisis or something like that, and find out what happens when you get a Tetris and all your blocks disappear. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I can guarantee you one thing though, Kevin. It would be unreadable.
Unreadable.
It would be absolute garbage.
It would just be the worst steaming piece of
Just
garbage.
the worst MFA navel gazing you have ever heard of. It would be insufferable.
Insufferable work of staggering MFA-ness.
Yeah, but I could drag it out to 100 pages, I guarantee.
100 pages.
100 pages.
Anything over would be a little bit too much. It would either be 100 pages or 10,000 pages.
Yeah, you've either gotta just be kind to the reader, or go full infinite jest on their asses.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was gonna make an infinite jest reference, but I held back. But then you took it there. You took it.
Literary bullshit.
Yeah, you took it to infinite jest, and you're there. I agree.
I'm the bad guy for that. I took the heat for that one.
You just make it like House of Leaves and make it non-linear. And
there you go. See,
and
you
people will call it art.
I did Infinite Jest. You did, House of Leaves. We've hit our pretentious.
We've hit the
long ass book quota.
The long ass book quote, the pedestal books.
That's a great way of putting it. The pedestal books.
we threw water balloons at them, and that's our quota for the episode. Oh God. Well, with that all being said, and I know it's only been a few days temporally from when we last recorded, I do have to ask, though, as I want to do at the end of every episode, what are you playing?
I'm glad that you asked, though, because I forgot. It has only been a couple of days, but I forgot to mention a game that I did finish in the past week or so. In addition to my gaming of Far Cry 6, which is continuing. Basically, I feel the exact same way. It is a very enjoyable, playable experience, but I feel like a lot was lost in this particular adaptation.
Sure.
But I'm going to finish it because I'm just a man.
We're just innocent men.
We're just innocent men. We're just normal men.
We're just
normal. I introduced my wife to that for the first time a few days ago. And I was like, and in my head, I was like, I don't know if she's going to go for this. She lost her fucking mind. It's like, yes. All right.
It's like one of those things you either laugh at or you don't.
I can't get enough of it. It's my what is it, Out of Touch Tuesday or
the Out of Touch Tuesday.
It's my Out of Touch
Thursday,
Tuesday. We're just normal men.
We're just normal men.
Yeah, I love it.
We're just innocent men.
We're just innocent men. I love it. But I did, in addition to my Far Cry 6 shenanigans, I did beat Case of the Golden Idol.
Fantastic.
Which I quite enjoyed. Just another one of those. Damn, if I'd played this last year, it would have. There's a very good chance it would have been on a Game of the Year list for me. Not so obtuse as like an Obra Dinn, but still very challenging. And it's one of those puzzle games that it's a very rare thing for me to have. You know how people the joke is a person writes LOL and you cut to them and they've just got a complete frown on their face.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've played games that make me feel unbelievable joy, and I'm still just sitting there, blank-faced, leaned back, 14 chins. But every now and then a game will
one of those chins is smiling.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, at least one of the chins is smiling. And there are a few games that have like made me actually feel like a self-satisfied kid. One of them that comes to mind is Shadow of the Colossus, when the remaster of that came out a few years back, and playing that caused so many times of me literally cheering at my desk while I played it. And this is one of those games that when I solved a particularly difficult puzzle or level or something like that, I was literally, hooting and hollering over here. Just so pleased with myself because I was obsessed with, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to check the hints. I was obsessed with that. I have to really stick through it, and I did. And it was one of those. It was like beating the Sunday New York Times crossword. It was just a very satisfying feeling.
That's what I say. Is a lot of puzzle games will end up it's that kind of satisfaction. Is a crossword puzzle type of satisfaction. Where it's just like, go me.
Clever. You feel like you feel sated. Like I felt full by the end of it, and it was right. Lovely. So I really enjoyed that one. Kevin, what have you been playing? What are you playing?
Nothing new other than Far Cry 6 in the past 2 days. Honestly, I don't even think I've launched a game in between the last episode. I'm not sure I actually got a moment to go play. I have been playing. What I want to talk about is the fact that I've been playing threes. Obsessively for the past couple years. So what happened was, friend of the pod, Hot Cider, had a collaboration, mini mixtape essay thing. It was called 1 Minute another minute remaining, where you had 1 minute to talk, to write a little mini essay about a game or whatever. I talked about threes, and I hadn't actually played it in a few years. When I did that essay, I reinstalled it and just started playing it again just to get the vibe of it so I could write the essay. But since then, all right, so right now, let me go to my stats on threes. It's actually, it's adding up the games I've played. And you can see it going up. It's not going to stop anytime soon.
Starting to look like my Civilization hours.
Yeah, this is my Civ right here.
Yeah,
this dumb fucking game. There we go. Now the stats are populating in.
Shit, that's crazy.
8,738 games. I have reset this. I have reset the data on the app 3 times in the past 2 years.
Wow.
So the actual number. I was
literally about to say, well, 3 years or so, like that makes sense.
No, and the actual number is probably over 20,000.
That's amazing.
And because like I've gotten to, so I'll get to 1536, the 1536 card, and then after a while I'll be like, all right, fine, I'll reset it. And I've been able to semi-regularly get back up to this 1536 card, but I have not gotten to the next card after that. So there's 2 cards left that I need to get to beat the game. The game has an ending. You can beat threes. I have been playing this goddamn game for over a decade now, and I'm still not close to beating it. Will I ever be? No, but I feel like if I do, I immediately rapture.
Yeah. I think that's What happened to Kevin? It's like I don't know. What do you mean? It's like, well,
what do you mean?
Looked for him and he's just disappeared. And
it's just a pile of clothing.
Just a pile of clothing. I was like, oh, he beat threes. Was he playing threes? He beat threes. Don't worry about him. He's happy.
He's happy somewhere.
He's in a better place. Don't worry about it. No, he's all right. This is what he wanted. This is
what he wanted. I have to imagine that there has to be like a chat room at the end of it, kind of like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. When you finally beat the game, it puts you into a chat room with other people who have beat the game.
I feel like you would have some serious withdrawal. Like that would be a lot.
It's my little. I am not diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm sure I have some form of neuro divergence tendency, because I will just sit there while we're watching movies and play this. I'll swipe my little threes all night. I'm just like, and that's the thing is sometimes it only takes like 30 seconds to lose, depending on the RNG. So that's why it's like you can end up with tens of thousands of games.
Yes.
Anyway, I play too much threes, and that's it's a blessing and a curse. I want to beat the game so I can stop playing the game and find something else to replace it.
You say that now. You say
that now, and then I'm just gonna be like, well, I might as well just wipe it and start over.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, what's the next step, I guess?
All right, that'll do it for tonight's episode. If you can, please head on over to our Patreon.
Hell yeah.
Phil, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Patreon.com benefits that people get when they visit us on Patreon.com?
Absolutely. You mean Patreon.com / the Pixelit Podcast.
That's right. I mean Patreon.com / the Pixelit Podcast.
That's where you want to be, people. Well, we've got all kinds of fun things for you over there. We are actually making a point to have new essay content right there. We're starting off with that. We're going to have that every couple of weeks at least. We're going to be talking about the games we're playing, insights, old essays, stuff that people could have read but maybe never had the chance to. So we're going to be giving you all kinds of good stuff that way. We've got 3 membership tiers, one for $1. You will get a nickname. Make sure you message me on social medias, on Twitter or on our Instagram, and I will make sure you get a nickname. That is the promise. We've got 2 patrons in there, and I need to give you all nicknames. That's a fact. Then we've got the $5 friend of the pod patron, which is going to give you access to all of the cool extra stuff that we're making, early access to these episodes. We've been getting the early episodes up there. Kevin's been taking care of that, and it's excellent. And then finally, the Geek Scholar, which is $10 a month, and you get all of that good stuff in addition to a episode by episode shout out from your friends, heroes, and spiritual guardians, Kevin and Phil.
Yeah. So there's nobody in there yet, so nobody to shout out yet. But
Not yet.
Thank you to the patrons that are in the lower tiers. We couldn't be doing this without y'all and your support. If you're interested in supporting us in a non-monetary fashion, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PixelitPod. You can go to our website, pixelitpod.com, sign up for our newsletter, which is another way to get early episodes. You can also go to our Discord and join the conversation there, that you have access to talk to us and all that fun stuff. So, go ahead, do that, enjoy, share, etc. Have a good night.
Bye.